depression is a state where you feel helpless. Maybe you're out of control.
Yeah, of what is happening.
You really don't see a solution in your current situation. Like you have searched everywhere. You have looked east, west. You have called your relatives. You have done everything possible. You really don't see a way out.
Yeah, sometimes depression actually, on the other hand, looks like some people don't know that they're actually getting depressed because they are trying to fight what they're actually going through.
That means that depression can also come as a result of a routine kind of setting, like a routine kind of life. For example, I wake up, take my kids, do this, every single day, year to year. So probably, if it is, because I feel like maybe there are different things that cause depression. So maybe in that case, it is the routine life that is causing depression, that is making you feel like there is something being
held
in you
together in everything.
Because if we try to broaden it, for me depression is more of like there is something in you that is being depressed. It is being pressed
hidden
down. Yes. So if we're looking at someone who is having a routine life, maybe their creativity is being depressed or being pressed down. They can't really take it out.
Embrace it they can't really put it out. Yes,
they lack the environment to exercise their creativity, right? Or I'm just looking at all the situations as to why people think or believe
that they're actually now depressed. Well, depression is also can also be seen as a result of rejection. Most times people in the different environments that they go through, they have certain expectations from others. So if I expect you at my workplace to love me, I expect to be loved. I expect that when I come, you guys are smiling at me. I expect that when I come, we are going to go for lunch together. We're going to go for this together. On the weekend, we're going to go out together. There's that kind of expectation that I'm having with the people around me. But when they don't do that, it can depress me. I will start thinking that maybe I have a problem. Maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe, So sometimes rejection can really cause people to get depressed.
Yeah, you're so right. Like depression is the root. Rejection. Is the root. Of depression. Like depression is just a branch from being rejected. For example, we look at someone who has probably lost their job. They have been rejected at work, right? And therefore they feel lost, they feel confused, they have nowhere to go, right? At that moment you feel like there is no solution for me. Maybe a job, maybe another job would be the solution, but you can't really
think about it at that moment.
You can't think about it at that moment. And you also know how hard it was to get the previous job. Right? Then also look at someone who has maybe been like there was a breakup, boyfriend, I'm dumping, there's something like that. That is also some kind of rejection. So when there is some kind of rejection in your life, sometimes and there's a time I told you that depression is like the root. It's like a bridge. There is that area, that place that is missing, but depression is going to feel it if you're not ready to take reality.
The next step.
Yes, there is reality here, but if you refuse to jump into reality immediately, there is depression waiting for you.
Actually, that's some example that you've given us of the work. If you have lost your job, your reality is you have to look for another job.
But
when you fail to accept what is happening to you and do something about what you have to do, it may be hard. Because we know it's hard. Usually, actually, like you say, depression happens when you don't want to take on the role that you have to do.
Yes, you don't want to take that.
So it's going to come and fill it in for you. So in that state, you're going to jump into that ditch of depression. Then by the time you get out, still you will come back and meet the reality. You will come back and find that you have to look for another job because you need money. Because you need to do this and that, So I was just giving that as expounding on your example.
So exactly that regardless of whatever you're thinking, see, for example, sorry, but I have to give this example. Like someone, bamugambye nti no, you maybe you're HIV positive, you know. At that moment, tagenda kusooka kukkiriza that reality, but it's the new reality, right? The expectation gy'abadde alina ey'obulamu egenda kyuka. There is going to be this kind of change. Oh my God, my life, my children, my future. There is that
Something
thing
about death.
Yes, they start thinking about death.
Immediately.
They start seeing like my reality is now that is no longer a reality I know.
Yeah.
Right? So me, I think depression usually comes in where you've failed to face reality, and it is okay. But it's up to you to say, okay, yeah, I've been depressed for a while. It is time to get out of it. In other words, there is no actual solution. Omuzungu agamba mbono, I'm giving you antidepressant. Yeah. Akulimba. It is you, okitegeera, it is you to wake up, ogambe now I'm facing my reality. Okitegeera, eddagala ndijjawa. Now what do I want for my life? Where was I going before this reality hit? I think there is still hope for me to go. We're looking at someone I
wanted to also bring it out in a way that I think depression is also kind of like a shock.
Exactly.
It's like a shock.
An elongated shock.
An elongated shock. Like, then you remain like that for a long time. You know, you're not doing anything about it.
You're eating food, you're drinking,
but you're still shocked. So you get,
yeah.
So if you don't, yes, we all get shocked, which is natural, which is human. You know, for us to, something has happened to you, we are not used. So I wanted to give an example of maybe a child or someone who has grown up in a well-to-do family, a family that has it all, you know, and then something somewhere happens, and then things, you know, flip. Yes, things flip, and then you don't know what to do. Actually, there is something to do. Because I mean, there are people who are even living that life already, and they are managing. But for you, because of the shock that has come, please,
that has tampered with the reality that you
that you know. Yes, so that's what I'm trying to say, that maybe depression is also another name for depression, can be shock, or maybe another branch. I don't know how it can be, but it can also be shock, because you have been experiencing a certain kind of life, and now things have changed, but they've changed not for good. Sometimes for good, but you may not realize. But they are just going not the way you want them to go. And immediately they do that. That can be the end of you. Because for you, you're weak at adjustment. You're weak at embracing new situations. I mean, life is like that. You don't, not like they tell us, you can't control what is thrown at you. You can't control, but how you react back is what shows the kind of strength that you have. So we're not going to know what is going to happen to us. We're never going to know, even if you plan, even if you're a planner, you're not going to know what is going to happen, you know. But when you accept the shock to stay longer in your life, trust me, you're doing nothing about it. And it's going to now destroy you. It's going to eat you up. Those are some of the effects of depression. You're going to start to feel like you're useless.
In reality, there is no solution. There is no actual practical solution someone is going to give you to get out of depression. It's just a matter of now, leave the bridge. Step into the reality. That is...
Face it.
Yes, face it. Be ready to face that new reality. Because all of us get shocked in life. You know, because I've heard of people who have been in depression for 2 weeks. For a month.
Then one day.
But then there is years.
One day, yes. I've also had people.
A day is shock.
It's still shock zone.
Yes, still shock.
But depression, I'm trying to say that, can we conclusively say that depression happens to people who are not prepared? Can I say weak people?
No, we can't say that. Because there is always a state of shock in your life somewhere. Be it work, be it family, be it whichever.
Things don't go as planned.
And things don't go as planned. Now that time when things don't go as planned, you need to have like Obangambentia, that is why you say weak, but you have to have that thing in you that tells you, my friend, get up. I've heard of people who say, I tapped myself on the back and get up. It is time to go. It doesn't matter, right? So that is why I say that there is no proper solution
for depression.
It's just someone to be ready
to tap their back, their own back.
Okay, let's face reality.
Actually, no one is going to talk you out of depression.
No one is going to tell you. Motivational speakers are not going to help you. I
was told.
But it is.
I was once told that when you're in depression, you don't even want to listen to anything. If they tell you something, it's going to just go through. You don't want to hear what anyone has to say. You feel like what is happening to you is like you don't know what's happening to you, but you just want it there.
You froze.
You froze. And you don't want anything to be removed from you and anything to be added to you.
Yes, you're in a state of
frozen.
Yes. There is no other word really.
So that means no motivational speaker is going to take you out of depression.
Unless, let me give still the example of someone go back into HIV positive. Again, what is the problem? Am I the only one? I'm not. And what makes me think that such a in a future like any other person? So it's just a state, because me I feel like what we're talking about this is when someone I take identity, it is just time for me to face my reality. Instead of sitting back and letting things happen to me, let me happen to the things.
Yes.
Let me take the bull by the horns. Regardless of whatever life has thrown at me, because all of us go through different things.
Sometimes people get solutions from God himself. Sometimes you can
real comfort, real hope.
Sometimes you can really be there and you don't want to listen to anything, but just that one person go say kona gambe chigambo nechikuzukusa. Maybe you're watching TV and then that one person, it doesn't have to be a sermon, it doesn't have to be godly, it can just be just one word that triggers you, and really God knows that you need that word to wake up, and he will somehow somewhere send something that is going to trigger you out of it. That is when you're really lucky enough for God to think about you and say so sometimes people get those lucky moments. I've had a lot of people who have gotten out of depression and they be like, for me it's like God just brought this woman and she told me certain words and I was like, 3 years I've been doing nothing. The people who go for a longer time, like we said, but you realize that all the 3 years you've been a zombie. You've been into depression. Now someone has come to tap you out. That's the only that's the only other lucky situation. If you've not tapped yourself, God selects you and says,
You're right. I've been depressed before as well, and I can't say that there is anything. It was good.
Yeah, it was
good. Our stamp, like a real stamp. It is me. It was God who did that. So one of the easiest solution to me is God. The easiest solution someone
but you don't seek him
for depression is God. Find him, seek him. God is so easy to get.
You can't seek him at that moment because you already failed to find solution in him.
No, the problem.
So it's like he's the one who has to come and select you.
I feel like he was just there waiting. Just tap on me. Just tap on me. Even when I just tapped, like, okay, let me read the Bible. It's as if a new world was open to me. It's as if a new light was shining upon me. You understand?
Okay, that
so
makes
when I say that for me, in my own situation, God was the only solution I had. God rescued me out of that ditch. It's a real ditch. It's a real dark hole.
So can we also say that sometimes when you talked about the fact that you got your Bible and that's when something opened up for you, can't we say that you can get out of depression when you get out of that comfort zone, now the depression is now your new comfort zone. Now when you get out of your new comfort zone and you go out there and do something else that you've not done before in your life, don't you think you open up and maybe ignore the depression calls and voices? Because when you go out there, you're going to ignore. I don't know.
No.
So that makes I feel like when you open the Bible, it was like getting out of your normal comfort zone, and now you're doing something else that has helped you get out.
And something spiritual is different from any worldly kind of setting. Watch it again. With a spiritual kind of setting, yenda somayo one verse. Your verse you kanga bulijjo. Yebadenga the key. Yebadenga the key to just open me up nzokuke. Or watch together, which is not the same thing as maybe ngendeko ku swimming, ngendeko ku beach. That's not the same thing. Or watch together.
So ngendeko ku swimming no funaya chikugamba.
Never. I've had stories of depression from different people, and they tell you, "Kala abasinga bempulide." They say it is God. God rescued me, as well as me. That was my case as well. So in actual sense, there is no physical, like worldly solution for depression. Maybe atagenda akoyisa Katonda akolechi atandike realizing with their minds just nze yes
they must have to be strong
into my reality. So to me depression is a route someone takes ngatagala taking a reality. There are two routes. Osazewo facing obulamu bwo weyongereyo mu maaso. Here it is. But then anytime you don't want to ogenda kudda ku depression.
Ngolooza waliyo shortcut.
Yes, ngolooza ogenda kumbe you're leading yourself into a deeper hole because it doesn't happen overnight. Depression doesn't happen overnight. It happens as time goes on. You see yourself falling apart. You see yourself you can't talk to nobody. You know, all these signs of depression, you feel like there is something missing, but you can't put your hands on it. When you think about your life, you can't even think about you can't think of anything that can make you happy.
So there's somewhere I read in the book in addition to that, and they were saying that depression is like you feeding something inside you that you don't know. Like for example, having a tapeworm inside your body. Now for you eat food every day, thinking that because you're trying to run from the
reality.
Yes. So you just say things are normal.
No,
things are normal.
I'm good.
Yeah, I'm fine. Like everything is okay. You know. Now for you inside, you're feeding your tapeworm. You eat food thinking that you've eaten, you're going to do things normally, but then inside you there's something you're feeding, and now when it grows, that is you being extremely depressed. Or that olinga that the depression.
You have day you're looking elsewhere, looking everywhere, you can't see a solution. You feel like
pretense.
And by the way, it's just also depression has to be a realization. Or no realizing. Otherwise, if you don't realize,
you
might as well continue. And imagine you are the mother in that home who is depressed. You are going to depress everyone else in the home because the mother is like the heart of the home.
Yeah.
Right? So you ogenda kulabanga eyali omusanyufu, you're not as happy. You know, your children are not as happy to see you when you come because depression creates some kind of cloud on you, a darkness that you can't detect or watch it again unless go wezude no gamba. But wait, this is not what I wanted. This is not me. I have to get up. I have to do something. Or watch it again.
Actually, most of the things that be killing us are usually small things, like comparisons.
Yeah.
Me looking at my friends thriving, doing great things, seeing a lot of good, beautiful things, out there, and trying to compare myself and wanting to be exactly like how at the same level where my friends are can be the reason to my depression.
You're going to start comparing what you saw or what you expected your ending to be or what you again. That is a comparison, because if you're looking at comparison, you can as well look at in your own home or in your own life as compared to other people's as well. Or what you
But you're actually good where you are.
You just have to realize it.
Yeah.
Because when someone is contented, no kuyimukao when they are in depression, changu,
Yeah.
you know, they know, man, let me find my way out. You can even talk to a friend because you're not comparing yourself to them,
yes.
you know, but you are telling them, my friend, I don't know how to get out of this. I feel like maybe
I want this, but I am here.
But I'm here.
That means you realize.
You know, you're realizing, you already know that, man, I can survive. Let me find a way, you know. But if you're in the state of comparing yourself to your friends or to your neighbors or to whoever,
we forget that in life there is actually no marking guide.
Everyone has to take their own journey.
Yes, there's no marking guide. Okay, we know that there are trends. If currently what is trending you can't afford, that's okay. There is no problem. Actually, there is no one who is going to pin you. No one is going to tell you that because you don't have the latest iPhone, you're not good enough. Because you don't have the latest wig or whatever, you're not good enough. Yes, you're not good enough according to your mind. This is a mind thing. In your mind, you're thinking that if I don't have the latest wig, then what am I doing with my life? If I don't have the latest phone, then am I even having a phone? I mean, but we forget that even what you have, thank God you have a phone. What you have is good enough. And in due time, in the correct time, when you work for it, you'll get it.
Exactly.
You'll get it. So people get into depression because that comparison disease has really infiltrated into you, and you feel like, if I don't have it, I'm dead. If I don't have it, I'm dying today.
Yeah. Now, for example, the Bible says in Hebrews, it says that keep your lives away from the love of money. I don't know how they phrased it exactly, but they were like, be contented with what you have. Or what you take it, because your Father in heaven, you know. So for me, I feel like when someone realizes, because like I told you, it has to be someone to realize that I'm depressed. Or what you take it. If someone tasobola chetegerera ntino, hey man, something ain't right here. I'm not
another way I used to be.
Kwakati someone out there is no kutuoza, but how
do I realize? Yeah,
because
we can,
you know, we are saying but if you're in a state where ebyali bikunyumira tebikyakunyumira, you don't
know what's
happy.
going on.
Everything seems like a job to you. Everything or even doing the smallest, maybe cause it is, everything is seeming so hard. If you feel like even your happiness or no, you're not generally, you wouldn't tell yourself, I am generally happy. We're checking.
You're actually doing the same things that you used to do, but you no longer get what you used to get out from them. You go for swimming. You used to go for swimming before and be happy, but now things are not adding,
because you are looking for something to help you feel like you're better, to help you feel good,
to help you pretend. Because that's the
you
pretending.
Can't find it.
Yeah,
you can't feel it. Feeling into maybe you have a girlfriend or boyfriend, you feel like it's also another bad day. Bambi, we're checking it. You are in tears. People cry in depression. Like if you see yourself, a normal human being, by the way, people don't usually cry. People are not depressed.
Yeah, people were crying.
If you're in a situation where also look at individuals who actually we think have all
and have it all,
also that also fall into depression.
Of course, everyone is prone.
They also do
depression,
right? And the solutions I would think of would be that they can afford therapy sessions rather. They can afford. They should look out for therapists, psychologists, whichever. You know, they can afford people to talk to, and then all that.
Yeah, these people really can help, especially in helping you realize where your problem lies, because the role of the psychologist is simply to unlock you, unlocking you, and then you realize what exactly is disturbing you. Remember, like we said, when you're depressed, you've not yet figured out where exactly the problem is sometimes. So if you have it all, probably you realize that you're being unhappy because of the children. Maybe the way the children are progressing is not the way you expected. Maybe the way your husband is is doing his things is not the way you also want him to do it. And eventually we are going to fight depression.
You eventually get to know what is missing. They could be the key. You know, they could be the key, because I'm very sure in Uganda we have people you can talk to. I mean, there are so many. I mean, if I'm to think of it right now, I would think of individuals that, you pay a little amount of money and then they are able to sit with you, just to talk to you, just to show you a different,
even us, myself, I can.
different side of things, and then, in other words, if you're someone who can afford it, try practical reasons that are paid for, practical sessions.
Because sometimes you don't want to get judged by your people around you. So you want someone who is foreign
outside
to listen to you. Yeah, another thing that you can do is maybe to get busy. Get yourself busy such that you get yourself engaged, such that you can listen less to the voices of the
I love that example, because I remember there is a documentary I was watching about some lady yava bweru, and then she decided to come to Uganda, and then she went to the ghetto areas. Nasangayo abakyala n'atandika obanyonnyola about depression. They didn't know they were in depression. They were treating their children in a different kind of way, treating their husbands in a funny way, family members, friends, because depression usually doesn't affect you alone. It also affects the people around you. So she started telling them, do you feel like sometimes you are a burden to your husband? Do you feel like you're not
good enough?
You're crying, you're sad. In totality, like your whole life as if you're summing it up, and they give you an emoji. You use the crying emoji, like, I am sad, So if she started showing them that if you're in that kind of state, that is what I'm talking about.
You're depressed.
You are depressed. They didn't even know there is a name or a disease or a state of depression. She showed them all that, and then she provided them with solutions. Guess the solution? She just put up a different setup, structure, and then Nabagamba, you just come and talk. Just come weapon
together.
Yeah, Nabagamba, just come and play. That's it. Then they started feeling, well. She started, that is when she started introducing the different skills. But first, Muli depressed.
It's okay.
It's okay.
Just come and be busy.
Yeah. Just come and be okay. Just come on your mie or seke dance. What different kind of things they can do.
Most of them usually recommend get out of your house.
Yes, just get out.
When you're depressed, just get out. Because there is no really physical solution that over get out and go to this place. But get out. Don't be alone. Because when you're alone, you're going to remain in your cage of depression, and you can find yourself 8 years in depression. Zombie.
You're like, tomanyi also what is happening.
You decided to just exist.
You're just existing. The life is just happening outside your control. You're letting life happen outside your control. Moreover, it's now time to take the bull by the horn.
So, then also avoid comparing yourself. We already mentioned it earlier that when these people that you're comparing yourself to, sometimes they are authentically living their lives. They are genuinely living their lives because they can afford those things that you're seeing them with. They can afford the nice things that you're admiring to have. But you want to skip the steps, to have them. So when you learn that your journey is your journey alone, and it is you who is the driver of your own journey, then you will learn to not compare yourself to others. Because like we say, in the negative sense, you don't know what the other person is going through or is sacrificing to have it. In the positive sense, maybe they can actually afford it. Yes, they can actually afford it. Sometimes some of these people that we even admire are just advertising. The fact that you're seeing them with a phone, an iPhone or whatever kind of nice dress, they're advertising for brands. People have these things. Now for you want to go off your journey that you were taking, your authentic journey, you want to go off and jump onto someone else's journey. You know the kind of work that it takes to drive on that journey. It's going to be too much for you. It's going to be heavy.
And therefore leading you into depression, something that you are, if you remained your authentic self, something that would
would have avoided.
So another solution would be making sure that you set priorities in your life. Like there should be things that you know I need, and then there are things that I want. Personally, I have two different lists in my life. There are things that I know are needed in the home. If you're like the necessities of the home, I have to do this shopping, this, that, and that. That shopping is there. But then I have the wants list. But I never go out of my way to make sure that something on the want list is fulfilled. Right? On the want list is more of like a wish list. You know? So every time there is something you want, but you know you can't afford at that moment, just put it in your want list. When the time comes and you feel like, okay,
you now can have spare money,
I can now
extra
have
money.
Do that. Or what take it. Want list can have a vacation. Want list can have like a nice bag that you saw, or what take it, but not necessarily quarter sentence or otandike, because we all but instead, maybe if you get a gig and then you're like, I have to pick some money and I put on my car wish list, on my car want list, because these things exist, you know. But
you can't have it all at the same time.
Right? So set priorities and be purposeful. You know, be purposeful in everything that you decide to do. East, west,
you're just driven all the time.
You see this influencer is going on a vacation, you want to go. You see this what you want to no. You know,
like for example here in Uganda we also have this unrealistic coping that we do, and you find that we are admiring things a bit suitable for our economy, a bit suitable for our
current lifestyles.
Yes, lifestyles. So you find that you're feeling bad about something that is invalid. If you told it to someone, they would actually just laugh at you. For example, you have your friend who went to the UK, maybe it was your OG, went to the UK, and first she's telling you about brands. I have a Birkin bag, I have this Dior perfume, I have this, you know, like really good brands, because those people really value the brands. Now here in Uganda, when you tell someone you have a Birkin bag, are they even going to? If you know, you know. If you don't know, you don't know, you know. So even if it's a thief who wants to snatch your bag, they're not going to know the value of that kind of bag that you think you are attaching value, you know. And then when you're crying, you cry, oh, my Birkin bag, the only original bag that I had, the only, you know. At the end of the day, oh, yo mubi agenda jiba akenda jiwo oli omulala mganze mpamu 5. So here we are comparing our lives, we are attaching value to things that actually we don't need. In addition to the point of things that we don't need right now, all you need is a bag. Buy any bag. Chinese bag is good to go. If you can afford, buy it, well and good. But if you can't, even the one that you have is good enough, as long as it can close and open.
That ministers in Uganda are holding original bags.
Where
know those
things. So it's better. It's better for you. We're all having fake things here in Uganda. So if you have a better fake or I have a less fake, we're all fake. We're all having fake things. So do not admire my fake, because at the end of the day, mine is also fake. Just live your fake life journey, and even me, I live my fake life journey, and we move forward.
We'll be okay, you know.
Yeah.
So guys, that's it from
That's all we had to
us.
talk about depression, and I remain Mercy.
Joanna, please. And for those of you
Like.
guys, this is a special note NB.
Mm.
Those of you who are sending us DMs, we appreciate
The comments.
Now we are suggesting and praying and asking, please, please let those comments be sent to the comment section of our video, because that way we have it shows that we are really discussing something. And therefore if you're sending them to our DMs, somehow so
most of the topics that we speak here are controversial. We need your opinions. Those are our opinions. We need your say about it. We need your another perspective, and it would really be great if we converse on like that. Yeah, thank you so much. Don't forget to like,
subscribe
and share. Bye-bye.
Bye.